Can we finally have this conversation? The world shouldn't living a 1% life require 1% circumstances and actions. Like this notion that it's going to be easy to be an all-time great in anything. No. I sacrificed my entire childhood to be a great entrepreneur. Just for the record, I have deep-rooted shit because I was not a normal child. I worked every day of my fucking life. Just so everybody's like, I'm happy, but like, I got shit. Everyone has shit. Yeah. Of course, how could you want to be one of the great? How is that? How do people not understand?
The difficulties are going to be there.
Everyone's looking at your son right now, who's in America, who's a soccer player, and it's like, oh, lucky, awesome, good for him, all good stuff. Do they want to go to Germany at 15 and fucking have that culture shock, or do they want to go to the prom?
Exactly.
Or do they want to hook up with Sally, or do they with a Visco girl, or like what do they like? What do they want? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Enough. You want to be fucking LeBron? Bleed like LeBron. You want to be Beyonce? Bleed like Beyonce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was something.
Enough.
I mean, I'll never forget, those first few months, and just not allowing him to make an excuse or to say,
dwelling is fucking
suck it up,
cancer.
Get up in the morning. If this is what you want, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah. And it's not, for anyone who's listening who might be confused, who's saying, well, how is that any different than the person yelling at the back of the car after? It's not that. It's accountability versus ridicule. There's a reason those two words exist. They're different.
Well, and I think it's also, because I think also what you can do with that kid that doesn't want to get up and doesn't want to do these things, that's okay. Like, you don't have to be in the top 1% of soccer players in this country.
Of course.
And you don't have to get up right now, but you have to understand that it's like your actions have consequences. And so you need to decide what it is that you want and then act accordingly.
We live in a world that people's actions do not match the ambitions coming out of their mouth.
Sure. Yeah.
The end.
And you can change either. You can change your actions,
Correct.
Or you can change your ambition.
Correct.
I think either is an option.
Let me give you an example.
Think anybody.
Let me give you an example. My son is like, I'm gonna dunk, and I'm like, look, already he's 7. I'm like, listen, man, mommy and daddy, we're not you guys. I'm not sure we're giving you the DNA for that. I'm like, look, do your thing. And I had this crazy combo. Like, somebody overheard it and was like, that's weird. They thought I was like crushing dreams. And the combo ended with me saying, look, I think you could be a really, really awesome intramural city league player, right? And like, he was like, he's 6 at the time, 5 at the time. He's like, what is that even? I don't know if he even knows the city league basketball. Yeah. Like, I'm like, look, D3 shitty squad, 3-point shooter, maybe, like, Yeah. But here's what's interesting about that. A father or a mother that says that to a kid, do you know how many people told me that I couldn't? I didn't give up or said, oh, my mom and dad or others said I couldn't. That got me more fired up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm going to fucking stick it to everybody. That was my structure. To your point there, like this notion that you can be LeBron, baby. Like the thought of like that conversation, that's doing a lot of damage. And to your point, when you're 14-year-old that 11 to 16-year-old range gets real interesting to me because these kids start changing. And all of a sudden, the 13-year-old guy, just cliche stories, the 13-year-old guy who's going to be the next fucking Mbappe, and that's what he thinks, all of a sudden grew 6 inches, took his braces off, and the cutest girl at his camp thinks he's cute, and his chemicals changed. His world just changed.
It changes.
And if he then changes, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to be Mbappe, well, guess what? That's life too. Yeah. But take it from somebody who went through high school where all of a sudden I also grew and I was charismatic and I had things, and I thought it was more fun to go to sleep at 8:30 p.m. on a Friday instead of going out with cool chicks because I wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. to do a flea market. This is real talk now.
Yeah.
Well, then there's no mistake of why I got here. This is not by accident. This is not luck. This is I put in the work, and it's because it was interesting to me. It was more interesting to me to go to Flemington's flea market than to go out with Pam Moses.